this up. Hey everybody, how are you? So I know we've been talking about these cough drops for a couple of days now, maybe even a week now. And somebody just sent me a message just a day or two ago and was like, hey, what about those cough drops? So today we're kind of coming into, this is our last full day here. So we're trying to get some things organized and prepped. And this is a good time to get yourself ready for the fall. So one of the things we're making right now is homemade cough drops. So you can see we have the honey already over here for us. And yeah, so I'll write the recipes down for everybody so you've got these. But it's about 3 tablespoons. So it's not, I'm going to turn another light on here for us. There we go. Helps us out a little bit. And so with that honey, we're going to take a blend that I have of herbs here. This has elderberry, it has cinnamon, it has marshmallow, and colts-foot in it. So we're going to mix that right into the honey. I'm going to just come in a little closer here so we can see it. Hey guys, how are you? All right. So we're going to get that mixed in there really well. This is really the easiest homemade cough drop recipe you're going to find out there, because it's really just honey and whatever herbs you want to use. And we picked these herbs because the marshmallow and colts-foot are really good for colds and sore throats, and the elderberry is good for the immune system. So we thought that would be a really good combo for us. The cinnamon, of course, sweetens it up a little bit, and you can go ahead and add the vanilla in now too. We're going to add in a little bit of vanilla just to make it a little bit nicer flavor. All right, and you can see it's nice dark. That's from the elderberry. Sometimes we'll use just one herb. Sometimes we'll use a couple of herbs like we did in this one. And again, just adding in a little bit of vanilla. Is it not pouring out? Oh, you have to take that top off. That's a funny little pop top on this one. And we've already added the cinnamon in, so this is really good. And we'll pour that in and get that all mixed up. And so with these, what we're going to end up doing with them is in a few minutes, we'll end up putting them onto a wax paper. And the longer you leave these cough drops, the harder they get. So they really basically become like a lozenger. So when you let them sit out and air dry, they can get nice and hard, like a little hard candy. Some of the cough drops you can make, homemade cough drops, you can make them where you're cooking the teas down and adding the water in and then cooking everything down. But in Ayurveda, we do not heat our honey. So we really didn't think it was a good idea to heat up the honey for this recipe, because Ayurveda goes against heating up honey because it changes the constituents of your honey. So we felt this was a much better recipe for our Ayurvedic listeners. Hey, how are you? Thank you. Yeah. It's very true that Ayurveda has its own set of rules, but they're very easy. So it's really cool. All right. So here we are. That's looking pretty good. So what we did was we mixed up a little bit of chocolate powder, and we're going to move over here and look at this one. There we go. So this is just baking chocolate, and I already mixed in a little bit of cinnamon. So you're going to watch, she's going to pour this out in a line, because what we're going to do is we're going to pour the honey on top of it, and we're going to make a log out of it, so that way it makes it so we can roll these into these. So, oh, that's looking good. Then we can just spread it out a little bit so that we can pour the honey right in the center. Nice. And if you see it, this is taking no time at all, right? It's a pretty easy way to make these. Perfect. Now we're just going to take our honey, and it's going to be kind of a funky way to put it, but we're going to put that honey right down in another line through the center. See, if you've ever made, is it jelly rolls that you do that way? Yeah. So we're basically just kind of going right down straight through the middle there. And what we'll do is we'll actually let this dry a little bit, and then we'll roll it up, and then later on we'll cut it. Now all that extra cocoa that's on the top will fall off of this, but what you'll be left with is basically a cough drop that has a little bit of a chocolate outer to it, and then you've got that inner that'll have all those herbs in it that'll be really good for your winter colds. Now this is just a half a batch that we made for today, because this was a new blend of herbs for us that we haven't really played around with yet, so we wanted to check it out before we made a huge batch. I will, like I said, have this on the PDF for you, so you'll be able to check that out. And what we'll do is we'll let this sit for a little bit, and it's going to dry like this, and then what we'll be doing is cutting that up later. All right. So what we'll do is we'll take a picture later on tonight or tomorrow morning and show you guys what it looks like after it's dried. And in just a second, perfect. So the only thing we want to do is kind of do a gentle wrap to it so we can get the powder all the way around it. You know what I'm saying? All right. So that way we're going to have the cocoa what goes on both sides of this so that once this is all said and done, and see how it's just like when you make your jelly rolls. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those, with how you would roll it right up into a little ball, but it's very similar to that idea. You can even put it flat right on top of it and let it dry just like that. And there it is. That's our cough drop, and it's going to dry like that. And in a little while we will cut it, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's done. And again, like I said, the recipe will be on our PDF that I'll be giving everybody at the end of all of this. And if you are watching us on our road trip, you'll also see that we are putting out a challenge for everybody next week, that we are going to be doing a Tai Chi challenge starting on Sunday. So I'll be posting more information about that later today and tomorrow. So hope to see you guys there. All right, guys, have a great one. Thank you.